Aging isn't a loss unless you give up this one thing first. You didn't lose your health first, or your memory, or your strength. What you lost was the reason to get out of bed. And if you don't get it back soon, nothing else you do will matter. That's what no one warns you about. They tell you to watch your sugar, take your pills, get your steps in. But they never ask what's still pulling you forward every morning. Because when purpose fades, your body follows. You eat less, move less, smile less, and slowly life begins to shrink, even if you're still alive. For many people after 60, that shift happens silently. You retire, the kids are busy, the phone grows quiet. One day blurs into the next, and you're left wondering, am I still needed? Let me tell you something that might shock you. Losing your sense of purpose is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not a metaphor, it's medical fact. But it's not too late. And this video is about getting it back. Because if you've ever sat in your kitchen wondering where the joy went, or felt like your best days are behind you, I want you to stay. And if any part of this resonates with you, please subscribe. That one click keeps this channel going and helps us reach more people like you. Now, a small question, which one sounds more like you right now? A, I still feel useful and needed. B, I'm not sure what I'm here for anymore. Comment A or B below. I read every response. Now let's talk about why most people start fading after 60, and the one thing you must protect to stay fully alive. It's easy to assume that aging takes everything from us, but that's not entirely true. In reality, aging only strips away what we stop holding on to. And the very first thing too many people quietly let go of is purpose. Purpose isn't some grand mission. It's not a career or an award or some big project you have to finish. It's the simple but powerful feeling that your presence still matters, that you still have a role to play, that someone somewhere would notice if you weren't there. The problem is we're rarely taught how to protect that purpose once the routines of work, parenting, or caregiving fade away. No one tells you that after the retirement party or the last family dinner with all the kids under one roof, there's a quiet danger, the danger of becoming invisible even to yourself. And the body notices. There's real science behind this. Studies from Harvard and the Mayo Clinic have shown that seniors who maintain a clear sense of purpose are less likely to develop Alzheimer's, more likely to recover faster from illness, and are significantly less prone to depression. Purpose doesn't just give us something to do, it gives our cells a reason to keep regenerating. Think about it this way: when you have somewhere to be, someone to help, or something meaningful to contribute, your brain releases chemicals that reduce inflammation, sharpen memory, and protect your immune system. You literally stay younger longer. But when purpose fades, so does your energy. Your posture slouches. Your steps get slower. Not because your body is weak, but because your spirit is no longer sending the signal to move. This is why so many people, even those in decent physical health, suddenly start aging rapidly after losing a job, a spouse, or even a regular routine. The absence of responsibility can feel like relief at first, but it quickly becomes a void. The good news: purpose can be rebuilt, not by chasing something big, but by rediscovering what gives your day meaning now. A neighbor who needs a ride, a garden that needs tending, a friend who needs your voice on the other end of the phone. It starts small but grows fast. So if you've been feeling adrift, not because of pain or illness, But because life feels like it has no direction anymore, you are not alone, but you are still in control. Because the truth is, your body will follow whatever message your soul believes. And if your soul still believes it's needed, your body will rise to meet it. Purpose doesn't just vanish on its own. In most cases, we push it away without realizing it. Through one silent decision, we stop showing up for life. It doesn't happen overnight. It begins the moment we tell ourselves, "I've done enough. I've earned my rest." And yes, rest is important, but rest is not retreat. And what many people don't see is that the slow withdrawal from daily life, no schedule, no challenge, no engagement, is the beginning of emotional decay. The first mistake most people make after 60 isn't physical, it's psychological. They confuse retirement from work with retirement from meaning. When we no longer have people depending on us, or tasks to complete, or goals to move toward, the days can feel wide open, but strangely empty. You start skipping your morning shave. You don't change out of your pajamas until noon. You used to plan your weeks. Now even lunch feels optional. And then suddenly you realize you're not tired from doing too much. You're tired from doing nothing that matters. I've seen it again and again. Men and women who were once full of drive and ideas slowly become shadows of themselves. Not because they're ill, but because they've stopped participating in their own life. And here's the hard part: no one notices right away. It's not dramatic. It doesn't come with warning signs. It comes with silence, with longer hours on the couch, with too many maybe tomorrow excuses. But here's the truth. Just because the world stops requiring something of you doesn't mean you have nothing left to give. Purpose doesn't retire, and your value doesn't shrink just because your calendar isn't full. But if you don't actively seek out small, meaningful roles, things to tend to people, to check in on projects, to nurture your days, will blur. And so will your sense of self. Reclaiming purpose isn't about going back to work. It's about going back to being engaged. A walk with intention, a hobby with direction, a conversation with weight. That's where life returns. Because the most dangerous part of aging is not losing strength. It's losing the habit of showing up. Losing your sense of purpose often starts with losing your place in the lives of others. Not because people push you away, but because slowly you stop reaching out. It's one of the quietest declines in later life. You don't mean to disappear. You just begin saying no more often. You pass on invitations. You tell yourself they're probably too busy anyway. And before long, the silence doesn't come from others, it comes from inside you. What many people don't realize is that human connection isn't just emotional, it's biological. Every meaningful interaction, every shared memory, every moment of being seen and heard sends signals to the brain that say you still belong here. Without those signals, the mind begins to shrink inward. Studies show that seniors who experience chronic loneliness have a 50% higher risk of dementia, a 32% higher risk of stroke, and significantly increased inflammation throughout the body. And yet it's not the big losses that bring loneliness. It's the absence of small, everyday contact. The neighbor who stops dropping by the friend you used to call just because. Somewhere along the way, we start to believe that relationships belong to the younger years. That once the kids are grown or our partner is gone, that part of life is over. But that belief does more damage than time ever could. Because the truth is, people still need you. They need your stories, your experience, your quiet presence. But no one can see you if you've turned the lights off from the inside. You don't need 100 friends. You just need a few you stay connected with on purpose. A 5-minute call, a Sunday coffee, a handwritten note. These are not small gestures. These are lifelines. So if you've stopped showing up, not just in places, but in people's lives, maybe it's time to knock again. Even if no one answers right away, the act of reaching out tells your brain, your heart, and your body, I'm still here. I still matter. And in that moment, something shifts. The loneliness isn't gone, but it's no longer in charge. There's another silent belief that takes root as we age, and it's just as harmful as loneliness or aimlessness. It's the quiet assumption that it's too late to begin again. That learning, starting, or growing is something reserved for younger people. And because of that belief, many older adults stop trying before they even begin. But here's the truth. Age doesn't prevent you from doing something new. Believing you're too late does. We live in a culture that celebrates youth and speed. We're surrounded by stories of 20-somethings building companies, writing books, reinventing industries. And somewhere along the way, we absorb the lie that if we haven't made it by a certain age, then our time has passed. But I've seen the opposite. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s pick up new instruments, learn new languages, begin writing their life stories, or volunteer in places they'd never been before. And the change in them is unmistakable. Their posture shifts, their eyes light up, they move with purpose again. You see, the human brain is designed to keep learning well into our 80s and beyond. Neurologists call it neuroplasticity. It means your mind is still capable of creating new connections, solving new problems, and expanding in entirely new directions as long as you stay engaged. The barrier isn't your age. It's the story you've told yourself about what's still possible. The beautiful part is starting small is enough. You don't need to run a marathon or write a best-selling novel. You just need to do something today that you weren't doing yesterday. Try a recipe you've never cooked. Read about a place you've never been. Call someone and ask a question you've never asked before. Every time you do, you send your brain a signal that says, I'm not done yet. And that message, that belief, is more powerful than any pill or procedure. It keeps you alive in the truest sense. Not just surviving, but becoming. So if you've been holding back because of your age, ask yourself this. What if the best part of your life isn't over, but simply waiting for you to say yes? Even when the mind is open to change, there's one area many people quietly give up on their body. It's not always out of laziness or neglect. Often it comes from a belief that it's too late to fix what's already been lost. After a certain age, we start accepting stiffness, fatigue, and weakness as the new normal. We tell ourselves, this is just what getting older feels like. So we slow down, sit more, and move less, not because our body demanded it, but because we expected it. That expectation is one of the most dangerous traps of aging. Because what we stop using, we start losing. And when you believe there's no point in rebuilding strength, balance, or mobility, your body listens and begins to shut those systems down. But here's what medical science tells us. Muscle responds to effort at every age. Joints benefit from movement, not rest. Circulation improves with activity, not stillness. Your body isn't done unless you've convinced it to be. The truth is, many of the aches and declines we accept as just aging are actually signs of disuse, not disease. And the solution often isn't medication, it's motion. Gentle, consistent, intentional motion. You don't need a gym membership or complicated routines. You need to reintroduce your body to the rhythm of movement. A 5-minute stretch in the morning, a short walk after meals, standing up from a chair without using your hands. These small efforts are not minor. They are signals. They remind your muscles and nerves that you still expect performance from them, and in return, they start responding again. Neglecting the body sends the message that nothing is expected of it anymore. Re-engaging the body, even in modest ways, reignites your relationship with life itself. And the reward isn't just strength, it's confidence. It's being able to carry your own groceries walk without fear of falling stand tall in your own kitchen. These aren't luxuries. They're forms of freedom. And freedom at any age begins with honoring what your body can still do, especially when you've been told it can't. Getting older doesn't mean becoming less. It means having the wisdom to choose what truly matters and the courage to protect it. Throughout this video, we've talked about 4 silent mistakes that quietly steal life from us after 60, giving up on purpose, retreating from life, letting go of connection, believing we're too late to grow, and neglecting the body that still carries us. But here's the truth. The day you decide your life still holds value is the day everything begins to change. The lesson is simple but powerful. Aging is not the problem. Abandoning yourself is. And the remedy isn't complicated. Show up for your own life in small but consistent ways. Each morning, ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today that makes me feel alive? It might be a short walk, a phone call, a new recipe, a small kindness. That's enough. Because meaning is built one moment at a time. Don't wait to feel ready. Your body, your mind, and your spirit are more resilient than you've been told. You don't have to do it all. You just have to begin. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small habit that helps you feel alive no matter your age? Please share in the comments. I read every response. And if this message meant something to you, please consider subscribing. It helps more people find content that speaks to them in this season of life. If you feel moved to support this work with a small donation, thank you. It means more than you know. But most of all, thank you for being here, for choosing not to give up on yourself, because that, more than anything, is what keeps you truly alive.